Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're having a terrific hump day. Bitcoin right now is a little jittery. However, if you were awake in the wee hours of the morning as I was, you'll note that as we hit the 18th of November, we were in fact hitting 18K as well with Bitcoin. Again, down a little bit now, about 17,630 or so. And people seem to be a little bit jittery after the major sell-offs that we've seen. Very savage and very abrupt in the middle of the night. We're looking at the 1-minute candles here on Binance Futures, and as you can see, we hit a high of 18,520 before plummeting over $1,000 in a span of just minutes. And I think that's enough to, demoralize even some rather strong hands out there in the space. But hey, look, things are volatile right now as we're approaching new all-time highs. I think it's to be expected. For all I care, Bitcoin can slide another few $1,000s. I will simply be buying more. And really, ultimately, that's the focus of today's video. Just a bit of a short love letter to Bitcoin. You may have seen yesterday's video in which we highlighted 9 new all-time highs related to the Bitcoin charts. We're breaking all kinds of new grounds, even though we're not at an all-time high price right now. Again, still sub 18K. We did in fact hit a new all-time high in terms of market cap. That's a function of the circulating supply, which has increased since last time. By the way, we're over $500 billion in the market cap right now, so things are still looking pretty good. And actually, I think it would be naive to assume that all of this is happening in a vacuum. Pfizer just came out with some very good news that is just globally providing a lot of enthusiasm. They just announced their vaccine is 95% effective against COVID-19, of course, and has passed various safety checks. So this courtesy of the Associated Press. Pfizer COVID-19 shot 95% effective, seeking clearance soon. So that's one variable that's factoring in here. Again, to the positive enthusiasm, to all the excitement that we're seeing. And it's kind of an indirect factor, but I think it still contributes to elation. You're seeing The Guardian here, for example, covering Bitcoin, along with a lot of other legacy media outlets we'll get to in just a second. Bitcoin jumps to 3-year high as COVID crisis changes investors' outlook. I don't think that's the only variable, but again, it's a major one. Kitco here, which they're all about precious metals, they're all about gold, championing Bitcoin. $40,000 Bitcoin in 2021. Cryptocurrency is quietly making its way back to record highs. Of course, we covered in yesterday's news billionaire Mike Novogratz, who's saying that Bitcoin will hit $65,000. We covered the fact that there's one projection, one analyst calling for $22,000. Mike Novogratz says no, unacceptable, $65,000. And he also tells Macy Williams, Game of Thrones star, to buy the world's most popular cryptocurrency. We'll get to her in a second. In yesterday's video, we talked about how this bull market in 2020 feels a little bit different from the one in 2017. I think there was a lot of hysteria at the public level in 2017, and lately it feels like that's not the case at all. This is largely organic, largely institutional. Again, MicroStrategy, PayPal, Square, Grayscale, there's some of the names that we cover on a daily basis. But if you take a look at the Bitcoin trends here on Google Trends, this is not any kind of a significant search term that people are looking up, that people are Googling. In fact, if you take a look at the relative traffic, we're looking at about 11% of where we stood at the all-time high. And this, I guess, unsurprisingly occurred in December and November of 2017. So can you imagine, as we sit here at just about $18,000, what that price is going to look like once we get that 11% trend all the way back up to 100% in a relative sense, ratio sense, and then beyond, as people start talking about it, as people get as excited, if not more excited than they were back in 2017. You're going to see more and more of these legacy media outlets covering it. It's starting slowly. BBC News here, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin hits 3-year high as investors jump in. And CNBC can barely keep up with itself. This from about 24 hours ago. Bitcoin just hit $17,000 for the first time in almost 3 years. Well, they had to update that headline. I shouldn't say update it. They issued another article. But here, just a few hours later, Bitcoin shoots past $18,000 for the first time since December 2017. And again, I think if you had to point to one single instance or an inflection point that really turned things around this year, it was the PayPal support that was given to Bitcoin and Ethereum and various other cryptos here. They're tweeting this. This is back from a few days ago on the 12th of November, but still massive news that we have to keep in the back of our heads. At PayPal, we are pleased to announce that starting today, November 12th, all of our eligible US customers, all of them, can now buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrency directly from their PayPal accounts. We've also increased our weekly purchase limit to 20K. Interesting number there. I'm not suggesting any kind of conspiracy, but it all seems kind of serendipitous and almost meant to be, fated, if you will. So again, do expect that legacy media coverage to increase with time. Do also expect the buzz to kind of come from just independent citizens, investors, maybe even celebrities. Maisie Williams is really just, I think, the first of many, probably dozens or hundreds of examples that we'll see with time. But here on altcoinbuzz.io, Game of Thrones star Maisie Williams joins the Bitcoin train. We talked about this yesterday. It's not groundbreaking news, but of course she conducted a poll, should I go long on Bitcoin? As you can see, the results here are slightly more towards the negative. I voted yes, of course I did. Well, here's what she had to say about it. Thank you for the advice, but I bought some anyway. And Michael Saylor here commenting on Maisie's post, in a world where Bitcoin is 0.01% of the investment options with 0.1% of the invested capital, understood by less than 1% of the investors, familiar to less than 10% of the people. A 47% yes vote is an overwhelming endorsement. Those who remain short BTC should be terrified. I think that's a great way to look at it. And look, Maisie Williams is all well and good, but nobody exactly looks to her for financial advice or investment wisdom. And I'm not trying to sound condescending, but that's just how it is. She represents entertainment. What's more significant, in my opinion, is when you have these individuals like that managing director from Citibank that's coming out, that's telling their institutional clients to look seriously into Bitcoin, and who's saying, hey, look, it's going to hit $318,000 maybe as soon as December of 2020. Tyler Winklevoss here highlighting, yes, we have another one this year, courtesy of Coindesk.com. Mexico's second richest man reveals 10% of his liquid assets are in Bitcoin. 10% is massive. And here's another very encouraging stat. Jimmy Song here. Bitcoin just had the 5th highest daily close ever on the 16th of November, closing at $17,685. Here's another metric that I found pretty astounding, courtesy of Cointelegraph. Bitcoin overtakes major chip manufacturer Nvidia at a market cap above $331 billion, which again, as far as the market cap metric and figure itself, that is a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Plan B 100 trillion USD commenting, Bitcoin $18,000. Big difference with 2017 is that most Bitcoin sold today will never see the daylight again. They disappear into deep, cold storage. Buyers today are professionals with long-term vision and staying power. And so to come back around, we can now look at that Bitcoin free fall in the middle of the night, about $1,000 or so, and kind of, have the right perspective here, the crypto look. Bitcoin drops from $18,376 down to $17,469, and then blasts back up to $18,233 in less than 3 hours. Buy the ticket, take the ride. This is bat country. So of course, guys, it all depends on your perspective. If you're working, on the angle of minutes, then $1,000 loss is devastating. But if you're in it for weeks and months and years and possibly decades, as I think many people are, this is less than a blip on the radar. This is nothing. And championing the cause here is CZ Binance, 18K and much better than gold. Hashtag Bitcoin Blockfolio here with this interesting observation. Bitcoin is less than a 10% move away from its all-time price high. And also to put things in perspective here, buy corn at Grassmaster. Bitcoin is still only 2.69% of the market cap of gold. Still so early. And I really think that is the message here that we have to kind of keep in our hearts and keep in our minds as we progress. And, there are going to be ups and downs, and there will be more downs, by the way. The volatility is not going to stop, but we are still so early. That's an important point to remember here. 2020 stock market growth, 11%. 2020 Bitcoin growth, 133%. What are you picking? I'll leave it at that, guys, but all this to say, and I think I can summarize it with this simple phrase, the future is bright for Bitcoin. So be patient. And maybe appropriately so, Bitcoin has taken a pretty major hit as I wrap up this video here. But look, guys, in the spirit of what I just expressed, I'm not worried. The long-term future is just that, the long-term future. So if anything, I'm kind of celebrating. I missed a lot of the opportunities on the way out, as anybody would, even if you're kind of glued to your screen. So this is an opportunity, not financial advice, but the way I'm going about it is I'm going to pick up a little bit more here while the price is relatively down. So again, guys, positive outlook. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you guys enjoyed today's video. Best best of luck if you choose to invest, but be careful. Stay safe physically and in terms of your health. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.